Hey guys, NBP here. Today we're going to talk about some off-season trades and my YouTube story. Let's get right into it and dive into February 27th, 2017. At the time, I wasn't really into basketball, more into soccer, and we went to go watch the game, and I wasn't really all that excited. I didn't really, I was living really near Washington, so we went to go watch the Wizards just like for one game. They were playing the Utah Jazz, and then the game started, and it was like one of the best things I've ever seen. And the game was starting to heat up. It was a very close game. And guess who was leading the Wizards? It was this man, John Wall. He put up 23, 11, and like 5 rebounds in that game. He was playing like a superstar. He didn't even play that much. He played like 30 minutes. And the Wizards were playing amazing. I didn't really know anyone, but my dad started telling me about NBA, and I started asking him a whole bunch of questions. And then I went into that arena knowing nothing about basketball, and I went out really wanting to start to play basketball and to be a Washington Wizards fan. And at that point, we had a basket near home, but I never really played with it. Again, I liked soccer a lot more than... It wasn't one good game. Wall in that season averaged 23, 11, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and made all defensive third team. Like, the Wizards had 50 wins, and the first seed Boston Celtics had 53. The Wizards were the 4th seed. And the reason Wall only got 7th in MVP voting is pretty stupid. Like, Isaiah got number 5, and I feel like Isaiah was a better scorer, not by a huge margin, but he was a better scorer. Wall was a better passer, rebounder, and Isaiah was literally a meme on defense. He was worth nothing on defense, and Wall was one of the best defenders in the NBA. Like, the reason Isaiah finished higher is literally because of 3 games. He was the first seed. But anyway, like, I'm not hating on Isaiah. I feel like also because of the fact that he was the first seed, and also because it was really special that such a short guy is that good. That's why he received higher. I don't know. But, like, I feel like he should have been higher. Wall should have been higher. And then the playoff, the first round was a very interesting matchup against Dennis Schroeder, Paul Millsap, and the Atlanta Hawks. Dennis Schroeder was playing like a superstar in that series, but the Wizards still won in 6 games, with Wall putting up like 40 points in the last game, I think. And then they teamed up against the Celtics, who also defeated their rival in 6 games, the Chicago Bulls. It was not an easy series for either side, and it was the best series that I've ever seen as a Washington Wizards fan. The Wizards started the series amazing, scoring the first 17 points of the game and leading 17-0. But despite that, and despite the 38-24 lead in the first game, they completely blew it off in the third quarter and eventually lost the game by about 12 points. But Game 2 was a different story. It was literally just a 2-man race between Thomas and Wall. Thomas led his Celtics with his scoring, putting up an amazing 53 points. The next best contributor was Al Horford, who put up a solid 15 and 12, but this was his all-star year, and he did it in 43 minutes. John Wall, on the other hand, put up 40 points and 13 assists, and Bradley Beal did kind of help him with 14 points on 47 minutes. Yeah, that's it. And all that led to this.
Thomas rejected by Wall. He's looking for the equalizer. 5 seconds left. Wall, 3 seconds. Wall, front rim, followed by Beal. It's short. We are.
In overtime, the Wizards were absolutely trash, couldn't do anything, scored only 5 points, and the Celtics won the game. But this was not the end. The Wizards were clearly the better team in those 2 games. And in game 3 and 4, in home, they absolutely destroyed the Celtics. Then they lost a game in Boston, barely, and they went to game 6, who was one of the closest games in the series. It was going back and forth, and eventually, well, this happened.
Working against Bradley for 3. John Wall! What a shot! Thomas got the catch. 3 on the way for the win, and the Washington Wizards.
Despite Wall hitting a crazy shot in Game 6, in Game 7, the Celtics were ultimately a little bit too much, and the Wizards fell short by 10 points. But despite an amazing series and an amazing year for both the young Wall and the young Beal, that would be the farthest the Wizards would go with John Wall, because the next year, after a really solid start, the Wizards star John Wall got injured. I remember the game he came back. Beal has done an amazing job that season, but the game he came back was a really special game. He put up 15 points and 15 assists, and he helped us get back in the playoff picture, and then helped us really challenge the first seed DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Toronto Raptors, and actually we pushed them to 6 games, to a very close 6-game series. But then in 2019, once again the future is bright, and once again Wall gets injured. But this time it's for 2019 and for 2020. Yeah, that wasn't very good. But Beal had an amazing season in 2019, putting up 26 points. And in 2020, he missed the All-Star team that had the best season of his career, putting up over 30 points and 6 assists on 45, 35, 85 shooting, and nearly helped the Wizards get in the playoff. But it wasn't only that. We also got Rui Hachimura in the draft, who was actually the 4th best rookie that season and was playing amazing. And going into 2020, or more directly, the 2020 draft, the Wizards looked really nice, and I was really excited to see Wall back on the court after 3 years that I've seen him play for like a month, and 2 straight years not seeing him play. But in the draft, it got even better, because the Wizards got my favorite player in the draft, one of the best prospects in the draft somehow with their 9th pick, Deni Avdija. And it gave them a starting 5 of John Wall, Bradley Beal, Deni Avdija, Rui Hachimura, and Thomas Bryant to start the year. Let's look at this Wizards team. Point guard was John Wall. And the last time that he played, like I said, he was really good. We didn't know how good he was, but I was sure he would be decent. I mean, I saw him fix his jump shot in 2018, and I was sure he would be ready. The shooting guard was Bradley Beal, who just averaged 36 and 4 on amazing splits, who, by the way, he is known to be a really bad defender. But that's just because of the incredible offense that he had to carry. In the time that he played with Wall, he was pretty solid on that end. Our small forward was Deni Avdija. He was one of the best prospects in the draft and really should have improved our defense. Our power forward was Rui Hachimura, who, with the games without Beal and Wall in the last 10 games of the season, he was literally averaging 20 points a game. And the center, Thomas Bryant's been averaging this season 15 and 6 on 65% shooting. They also had great supporting cast like Troy Brown Jr., who's been really good, Robin Lopez, who was supposed to help our defense a ton, and Davis Bertans, one of the best six-men, the third in the three-point contest last year, averaged 16 and 6. It was looking all great until, well, this happened. Well, my first reaction was, my first reaction was more like, no! Yeah, personally, that trade really, really hurt. But I also don't understand why the Wizards did it as a team. You can argue that Westbrook is the better player, but the Wizards also gave up a first-round pick, which means they're putting a lot of their eggs in one basket, and that basket is a Russell Westbrook basket, which is not exactly safe. And the Wizards started this year with 2 wins, 8 losses. And Russell Westbrook got his numbers, 19 points, 9.7 rebounds, 11 assists, but he got that on 38% shooting from the field, and 30% from 3, and 65 from the free-throw line. On horrible defense. And not only that, one of the games the Wizards won, they played without Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook didn't play, and the Wizards won by like 30. They led all game long. They absolutely destroyed the Timberwolves. And in the Wizards' last game, Russell Westbrook didn't play, and the Wizards lost by like 4 points, but also Bradley Beal didn't play. So he's not doing us any favors. I'm going to be honest, I'm being a little bit too hard on Russ. It's especially Scott Brooks' fault. He doesn't know how to handle the clutch situations. He's just a bad coach. Every single game that the Wizards lost, they lost by 10 points or less. Like, they had no game this year where they lost by double digits. But that's especially because just every time there's a clutch situation, so Scott Brooks just says, whichever player has the ball, shoot. It doesn't matter where you are, and it just doesn't work. And that's why we're losing, but also because of Russell Westbrook. But John Wall has been playing a lot better. He's been averaging like 20 points, 6 and 5. He's also been averaging like 48% from the field and like 87% from the free throw line. His 3-point percentage was much better. And the main thing is his defense, right? The Wizards were the worst defensive team last year. And Russell Westbrook, I don't understand why we needed Russell Westbrook. A guy like Deni Avdija is really struggling because there is just way too much offense on this team. A guy like Davis Bertans is struggling because they have 7 guys who can easily get you 20, even 25 points every night. But it doesn't happen because there's too much offense on the team. So we traded John Wall for a little bit more offense. Well, he would bring us a lot more defense. This year, he's been averaging 2 steals and 1.5 blocks on a really, really good on-ball defense. I don't understand this trade for the Wizards. And they gave up a first-round pick. I knew from the start that it was a bad trade, but now everybody are recognizing that. And by the way, the 11th game of the season was against the Phoenix Suns, who were currently the second best team in the league, and the Wizards won by 21 points. They led all game long, but in the last minute, for some reason, Devin Booker and CP3 were in the game, so they closed it a little bit, but it still ended by 21 points, and that was without Russell Westbrook. I'm just saying, it's a little bit suspicious. Okay, let's just talk about some more trades. And don't worry, guys, we will talk about everything that happened in this offseason next time. This is NP. Peace out.